So a few weeks ago, I got a phone call from a prospective customer, and she wanted to schedule a detail. So we were talking, and we were going back and forth, and so asking her a bunch of questions. And so one of the questions I always ask a customer is, "Are there any stains that you would like removed?" And by answering these questions, I can pinpoint them to the detail service that I can best provide. And so she mentioned that, yeah, she did have some stains that was caused by fart putty. And she was kind of embarrassed by it and kind of created some good laughs and things like that. And she said, she goes, "I don't really expect you to be able to get it out. And so you could just do the rest of the detail and not have to worry about these stains." So I told her, I said, I accept that challenge. I said, I would be really excited to be able to try to see what I could do with the stains. So I did. This yesterday or the other day, she called me and she scheduled the detail, and I completed the detail yesterday. And so um, I went up there. So as I got talking with her, I started asking some more questions, and I found out that she had already attempted to clean it, and she said she basically just went to the store and got the carpet cleaner that has like the scrub brush on the top, just anything that you can find at pretty much any automotive store or department store. And what this had done was it had basically taken the dye out of the fart putty, which was green, and just kind of left this residue there. I also learned that this stain has been sitting in her car for about 6 months. She said it happened at the beginning of summer, and this is December. So you can see from the photo kind of what the stain looks like at this point. So I took this photo of the stain at the beginning of the job and before I completed the detail. And so I can describe the stain to you. It's very crusty, and it's definitely embedded on top of the upholstery, and it's kind of like someone took glue and smeared it over the seat and let it dry, and it gets hard and crusty, and it was shiny. So the first step was, as with any kind of carpet cleaning, upholstery cleaning, you want to vacuum up really well. And then I used this product, Glacier Freeze, and I got this from John Don. And what you do is you take it and you spray it on the putty, and it freezes it. And then at that point, you can take it and scrape it with a dull knife or a scraper. Now, my experience with the Glacier Freeze was the part of the stain that was more putty-like, it did a phenomenal job. It froze it, made it brittle, and it scraped off very easily. And there were other parts of the seat that was in that condition where it was still very putty and it came off easily. This particular part of the stain, where it was hard and crusty, it did not work as well. So then I had to take it to a next level. So the Glacier Freeze has a solvent in it, and so I began to think about giving it some dwell time. So I came back to it about 2 hours later and took a microfiber and began to scrub at it, and I noticed that some of the residue was coming off. And so with my experience with it, I began to realize that maybe my steamer would be able to help me. So I then grabbed the steamer and I began to hit it with some steam, taking my microfiber and then cleaning it with that, and then hitting it with some steam and rubbing it with the microfiber again. And I began to notice that the putty then began to break up with the steam and the agitation, and it was coming off of the fabric at that point. So the final step was to use Stain Magic by Pro's Choice. I mixed up the solution and I sprayed it onto the stain, and I instructed the client to not touch it overnight and to come back the next day. And these are the photos that the client sent me of the next morning. You can kind of see a little bit of the residue still there. Probably could use a hot water extraction on the seat, and I think that might clean it up a little bit better. But overall, the fart putty is removed, and it's a far cry from what it was like in the beginning.